Howdy, I'm Helen Terry here at the beautiful Soma Ranch, and today I wanted to talk about Blue Monkey classes. Have you heard about Blue Monkey classes? For me, this happened a long time ago. I reference it with how old my daughter is, so I think it was maybe 25 years ago at least. I used to have a routine that I did every week. I taught 13 classes a week, and I would spend some time on Sunday like learning some new moves, getting into the choreography of a movement routine. And then the 13 classes I would teach during the week, I had this system of how we would play with the same music and the same moves through the class experience. So for example, on Monday mornings, we would have joy of movement as the focus, and then we would look at how to move systemically. And then as the week progressed, we'd look at focusing on the base of the body, the core of the body, the upper extremities of the body, and then how to put all this together. And by Friday, I was a little bit saturated, bored with the whole process, and I just wanted something different. And so I tended to play around with different music on Fridays. And then on the Saturday, it would be like the grand finale. I taught 2 classes on Saturday morning, and the first of those would be putting everything together. So all the people that had come to morning classes, evening classes during the week, we'd come together for our biggest class on Saturday morning, and we would really play with this music and moves that we had been focusing on for the whole week and have a grand time. And then actually the second class, I would play with actually sticking with the same choreography and putting new music to it. And sometimes that new music was actually the music that I had improvised to and played around with on the day before, on the Friday. So that's how my improv classes were working with my more formulated, crafted classes. Well, then I had this regular participant. She was actually a nurse in Galveston, and she worked almost every day other than Fridays. And she would drive from Galveston to Houston, sometimes an hour-long drive, and she'd attend my Friday classes, and she would love the classes. She'd have a great time. And then literally months later, if not like the following year, she came to a Saturday morning class. And I was so excited to provide a full-on delivered class with all the choreography and the music, and everything was prepared and tight and blah, blah, blah. And at the end of class, she looked rather perplexed. And I said, "Hey, did you have a good time? How do you feel from class today?" And she was like, "Well, Helen," she goes, "that was okay." She goes, "But I prefer your Nia classes." And I was like, "What do you mean?" And she was like, "Well, this seemed very rigid and there was a lot of form, and I much prefer the classes you teach on Fridays." And so I realized that all she knew, all she experienced was these improv classes that I would do on Fridays. So that got me started thinking like, well, how can I carry on my improv classes but not be stuck in the rut of teaching on Fridays? So another program that I really love is the Natural Time program. And if you want more information, go to 13moon.com, 13moon.com. That 13moon.com website shows you this natural time calendar where there are 13 moons of 28 days rather than a whole 31 thing that we tend to do in our Gregorian calendar. And in that process, there's a cycle of 4 colors, which goes red, white, blue, and yellow. And there is also a cycle of 20 different tribes. One of those tribes is Blue Monkey, and a Blue Monkey Day, which comes about every 20 days. Its focus is play, illusion, and magic. I was like, what a cool idea. If I played with every 20 days, I'll do an improv class, and I'm going to call this class a Blue Monkey class. So then what happened was my community really started to enjoy this rotation of every 20 days, whatever the day of the week was, Helen would provide a Blue Monkey class. And that has evolved over the last 25 years. I have giggled seeing other people along the way saying they're going to teach a Blue Monkey, and I wonder, is that little thing that I started on Fridays that I then put a name to it, maybe other people evolve their reason for having Blue Monkey play days, but that's mine, and that's why we improvise. So I've loved the process from us. In the last 5 years, we developed a program that we now call the 30-day journey. So every month there's a journey for 30 days. And what I've loved is we created this little extra fun thing on Fridays. We call it Fun Fridays. It's a 30-minute class. And over the last 5 years, I have done more than 150 30-minute Blue Monkey classes. And I love how my improvisation and knowing what to do when I don't know what to do, and the whole thing of how to stay relaxed when we're under pressure, how to listen intimately to the music. And I love the process that by doing this on a regular basis, I get more and more of what I call the right fit by accident. There are these clicks in the music, particularly when it's music that I don't know. And there's lots of ways that we can get music. So sometimes it's music I want to develop choreography to, and I'll bring that to the class experience. Other times I'll ask a participant, maybe it's their birthday, and I'll say, share with me some of your favorite songs, and we'll celebrate them and their birthday in a Blue Monkey class. And most recently on Fun Fridays, it's a community thing where I ask everyone in our classes to give suggestions for the Fun Friday Blue Monkey. And then I found, rather than just saying, name your songs, it's been really fun to come up with themes. So for example, one that's coming up soon is going to be the theme of fantastic travel. And in the end, you can create anything you want. You can request really any song, justifying like, well, when I go on a fantastic traveling vacation, this is the song I like to play. Yeah, but it might be like Fly Me to the Moon. It might be a song about surfing. It might be a song about a different country. There are so many ways to play with this. And so anyway, that is my little story of how Blue Monkey classes came about for me, something that's evolved for more than 25 years. And I've loved the journey. And so if you're a movement teacher, I invite you sometimes to play with what's the worst thing to happen if you're unprepared, and simply show up with some music and see what happens. Staying somatic by paying attention to the sensation in your body. And my class and our community, they absolutely love this. You know, I call it sometimes chicken, sometimes feathers, meaning sometimes there are these amazing clicks and we all laugh together. And then other times I'll make a prediction of where I think the music is going, and it will completely flop and we'll still all laugh together. And then finally what happens on this is when I put the music on shuffle, there's also this extra craft thing that, say a really fast song starts at the beginning, I gotta craft how to make that song a warm-up song. And then I love it when it's the peak of Get Moving and there's some really slow, relaxing song that comes on. It's like, okay, how can I make this a peak of Get Moving experience? So all of that is part of the craft, the art, and there's so much fun in this. So check out sometime, have fun, and that's where my Blue Monkey play days came from. Be well.